All right, everybody. We got another very special guest for y'all. Everybody, please welcome to the show, Josh Nealis. Welcome, Josh.
Hold your applause.
I
All
still
right.
gotta
Well,
get that applause button for this. I keep
yeah,
meaning to do that.
like the sitcom track.
So like,
Yeah, like
yay!
cheering and laughing. I could really use a laugh reel to make me sound funnier. Yeah, thanks for being here, man. First time, so that's always cool.
Yeah,
When we've
thanks
had
for
so many guests and
thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
yeah, of course. And we're gonna talk about Turkey Sharks today and talk about Cutthroat Comics and stuff, but we have to do the annoying thing of putting you through the gauntlet of your origin in comics and how it all came about for you. I know you've been doing Turkey Sharks for quite a while now, but if you want to just give us the rundown on how it all started.
Yeah, so when I was 15, I was on a field trip with my class, and I got bit by a radioactive comic book.
Hell yeah!
So
the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I got into comics like anybody else does. You guys, I don't know how old you guys are, but probably fairly close to my age. The X-Men '97 show and all that, and, Spider-Man and all that, and then started picking up comics from the store after seeing those shows. And I never realized. My aunt has told me that she knew all along that's what I should be doing. But I never realized it until I was like in my very early 30s that I was like, oh shoot, I should be like making comics and writing novels and stuff.
Yeah.
I was in a band for a long time, and we were fairly successful. Once that ended, I knew I wanted to do something creative. So I did like a movie review website and stuff, and it didn't scratch that itch. And that's when I had always known I wanted to write a book, but that's when I got the idea for my first novel. And then now here we are. That was 2015. I think I started it like right before my son was born. And here we are, 9 years later, and I've written, I think this is comic book number 14. I think I'm on like 13 novels and stuff. I've lost count.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah.
Well,
So
I've got a couple in works too. So it's, I'm always going.
So is that kind of when did Cutthroat Comics come out of that?
So when I was in 6th grade, there was like a young authors contest that everybody had to do. You didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
So most kids wrote like a little story or whatever, and I made a comic book.
Awesome.
So, and Stingray was my first character, which granted at the time I didn't know there was already a character. I think I can't remember if it's Marvel or DC. I think it's
Marvel.
It's Marvel. Yeah.
Later I found out that character already exists, and the two characters are not even very similar at all, as far as I can tell. And I still have that comic book. I actually posted it on Facebook, like the pages and stuff. And it's the same. I'm the same writer from 6th grade.
That's amazing.
The comedy is still very similar. But so when I wanted to do a comic, I was like, well, I'm going to bring this back. And that's what we did. We did Stingray 1, 2, and 3. We have a very satirical series called Pedo Man and Kid Friendly, which is a lot like Mel Brooks and Family Guy, South Park. We did 1, 2, and 3 of that. Then we did like a serious superhero story in Ginger Avenger 1, 2, and 3. And then in the lead up from all those, they formed the team, which is the Turkey Sharks. And now we're on issue 5 of that. And this is closing off this series before we jump into our next comic series.
So these are all stories that revolved within the Turkey Sharks universe, right?
Yep. It's a lot like the MCU. I did it almost how they did it. You got 1, 2, and 3. Then I did 1, 1, and 1. Then I did 2, 2, and 2, 3, 3, and 3.
Yep.
We hit Turkey Sharks 1 through 5.
So who are the Turkey Sharks?
So I mean, you've got Stingray, who I've renamed him Stinger now.
Okay.
As to get away from any confusion.
Yeah, or licensing.
I hear Marvel has good lawyers.
Yeah, that's
they got a couple. Yep.
Ginger Avenger's one of them. Pedo Man and Kid Friendly are members. You've got Mark the Alien. You've got the Turkey Shark. You've got Basic Bitch. And then Blasphemer is my gay Amish superhero, and he's a member. Zebo, the drunk homeless robot. We've got little alien race called the Ooby Doobies. They make fish cupcakes. I mean, it's...
Oh, man. This sounds awesome.
Lots of
So, and yeah, Chris is going to pull up the Kickstarter there.
yeah,
Are these the
are
Ooby Doobies right here?
Yeah, on the A cover there, down in the bottom.
Yep.
It's like the
That's
one got
amazing.
into some lingerie.
Yep.
Those things are awesome. We got to know more about those. The Ooby.
Yeah. So me and my friend back in 7th and 8th grade, when we were bored in math class, because we never paid attention,
Yeah.
we would we did this little game where I would draw a line, give him the paper, he would draw a line, and back and forth until we came up with something. And that was one of the things we came up with, was this little race of aliens we called them the Ooby Doobies, because I really liked CCR at the time.
Okay.
And that's one of their songs. And I was like, that's a good name for an alien. And they were like almost like ants. They like had little tunnels and stuff. But when I started doing Stingray and stuff, it just worked out in the story that I needed like a little. They're kind of like Native American style.
Mm-hmm.
They're very not tech involved. Very. I don't even know what the word is.
Like almost like a tribal, like an Ewok or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that. Yeah.
yeah. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, like that. And their planet gets taken over by the evil aliens, which are the SETI, which is based off Tau Ceti E, which is actually a planet that exists that could potentially have life. Like, I did some homework.
Okay, a little bit of science homework there. Nice.
A little bit
awesome.
of research.
Yeah. Got to make it at least mildly accurate.
Yep.
But yeah, their planet gets destroyed. They have to come live on Earth, and there's more to the story than that, but that's kind of the gist.
There's definitely merchandising opportunities here.
Lots of merchandising opportunities.
I see stuffed animals in your future.
That's something I've thought about. I've thought about all that kind of stuff. It's just finding somebody that can do it for, not $1 billion per unit. So,
yeah, you don't want to have to make like 20,000 of them. So,
yeah.
I mean, the book looks like a lot of fun. And that's something Chris and I talk about quite a bit with mainstream comics, and we see it a lot more with indie comics. Is we want to read stories that are fun. That's like what we're missing in comics today, and it seems like you kind of grasped onto that with your books. Is that kind of true there?
Yeah, I would say, because Stingray is very like mouthy. He's very Raphael. And Pedo Man is super stupid, a lot like the Tick. He talks almost exclusively in movie references and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then Ginger Avenger is where you kind of get the drama, because even though he has a weird name, like a silly name, like his stories, like that series deals with like religion, history, mythology, like all wrapped around a superhero story.
Okay.
He's not funny, I don't think. He's kind of the straight guy, and then you've got all these goofy, weird characters around them. A lot of my villains are pretty silly too. Like there's Redneck Ninja who throws Confederate flag ninja stars.
Oh my god, I love that. Red.
Yeah.
There's only one thing worse than getting stuck with a ninja star is getting stuck with a Confederate flag.
Yep.
That's amazing. And so I'm looking at the covers here. We have a few covers for issue 5.
Mm-hmm.
Is the A cover, is that the Ginger Avenger?
Yeah, that's them. Yeah. They're celebrating the end of the series.
So I'm going to ask for Chris, because he's a big squirrel guy. What's the squirrel on his shoulder? Is that a reoccurring character?
Yeah, and he's actually going to get a one shot at some point.
Oh my god!
Because he's one of the few story arcs that I don't close off, because I think there's a good enough story to be told there. Because he's at war with the groundhogs over the territory of the park.
That's awesome. Naturally.
Yep. So, and I don't want to give too much away, but there's an awesome character that I'm going to introduce in that one. But so he was actually, I think in Pedo Man 2, I believe. I think it was 2. He bites Pedo Man, and Pedo Man kicks him so hard he flies into space.
Oh my god.
And some aliens find him, and they give him the same serum that they gave Stingray when he was kidnapped by those aliens. So he's like a super squirrel on Earth.
Amazing.
Phenomenal.
Yep. And like the only person that can, I think Mark, which is the green alien back there, can talk to him. But Stinger is the only one that actually can talk to him and understand him, because they have that serum. So, he pretty much just talks shit the whole time and nobody knows what he's saying.
That's amazing.
I mean, you got to take out those pesky groundhogs.
Yeah.
I mean, squirrels are where it's at.
Yep.
Josh, you don't know this, but I've been slowly feeding the squirrels in my backyard and trying to make friends with them.
Yep.
So that when I need an army,
There
they
you go.
will come and help me.
Well, so and that squirrel is based on a real squirrel. My grandpa did that when I was little. He
Oh
had
my
a pet
God.
squirrel that would come up and take nuts out of his hand, and we would be eating breakfast at my grandma's dinner table, and the screen door was, I don't know, 10 feet to my right, and the squirrel would hop up there and literally knock on the door for nuts and stuff. So
That's amazing.
that's why he's named Buddy.
Fantastic.
That was the name of the squirrel.
That's awesome. That just adds another layer to the story. That's even
That
more.
is life goals right there. Is what's going on.
Yeah, Chris is like, I gotta get back out there and start practicing.
You know, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Just gotta train them up.
Yeah. So let's talk about these awesome variant covers you have. So you have cover A, which is got a lot going on. We have a bunch of all the characters on there. Then we have cover B. Well, I guess the three ninjas homage
Yep.
cover. I'm a huge Three Ninjas fan.
So am
I. A lot, and it's funny when people like don't know about those movies. But that's a great idea. Was that your idea to have someone do a cover like that, or?
Yep, I've had that idea. I was actually just talking about this last night with somebody.
Yeah.
I've had that idea in my pocket for a couple years now, and finally we were like, all right, we got to do this. So yeah, I love that movie, and those are the three, my big three, I guess. There's Stinger,
Yep,
and then Pedo Man and Ginger Avenger on the cover there. So it worked out. It's a cool cover, and if you love those movies, I mean, why not grab this?
and then the next one you have there is the Chad Shodel variant, but it's Bubble Bath. Now, is that like a villain you created, Bubble Bath, or?
Yeah, he's not a fully realized character, but yes, he's technically a villain at this point. He farts bubbles, which propels him and makes him able to fly. And he's got his little pink teddy bear onesie and his goggles and stuff.
I love that.
His belt is made out of bath bombs. So
I had hoped that the bubble bath variant was like an ongoing thing, like you put the different characters in bubble bath scenes, but that's so much better than what I thought it was.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's way better.
Yeah, and there's another character trapped in a bubble. Back there. That's Mordecai Domingo. He's just like a cliche voodoo guy.
Oh my God. It just gets better and better the more we ask about with the story. So like Chris and I early on, we had, before people wanted to talk to us on the podcast, we had a section called like the shitty villain of the week, where we'd like go into the reaches of DC and Marvel, mostly DC at the time.
I've got a bunch of those.
Oh yeah, and just talk about shitty villains. So like whenever this stuff pops up, like these gimmicky, terrible heroes and villains, we just absolutely love it.
It's good to have some throwaway villains.
Yeah.
So like on the first couple pages there, that's what that is. This book starts off with a couple throwaways. There's Dr. Level, who's a flat earther, Scam Likely, who's a telemarketer, and then
Scam Likely.
I
love it.
Yeah. Well,
oh my God.
To me, it's like, man, these are people that annoy the crap out of me, and you want to beat them up, and you can't do it in real life. So you put them in a comic and beat them up there.
Yeah. So you have some preview pages on there. You have a couple pages, page 1 and 2 from Turkey Sharks #5. The art is really good. Do you want to talk about your artist at all?
Yeah. Yeah. He's an awesome dude. He's done all 14 books for me ever since 2015.
And that's Cristiano Reyna, right?
Cristiano Reyna. Yep. He's lives in Italy. I've never met him. I've never spoken to him even like this, because his English is pretty decent when we talk like through Messenger and stuff. But I talked to him a couple times. I was like, do you want to do when I do these podcasts, man, we can have you on and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm not that good at it. So,
well, the art is amazing. So, I mean, just these panels alone where you talked about, you have Dr. Level. Is that Geek Chic?
Geek Chic. Yeah. Yeah. He's the guy that records movies in the movie theater and puts them online. So you get terrible quality.
What a terrible villain.
Yeah.
Doesn't even do it in 4K quality. What a piece of shit.
Yeah, I just love that he's getting suplexed over here.
Yeah, he's literally just getting suplexed.
Well, that's the Razor's Edge, actually. So Pedo Man, he mainly fights with wrestling moves.
Oh my God. I love it. And Pedo Man definitely. I mean, he has to have a mustache. It's just
Oh yeah, yeah. Pedo Man, he's kind of like a Shazam style character where he has to say his secret word to turn into Pedo Man. So, and his secret word is Ralph Macchio.
like it just keeps getting better and better, Chris. I wasn't prepared for this.
I drive a lot.
Yeah, you're just lost in your thoughts a lot.
More
You're
or
like,
less.
wow, that would be hilarious.
Well, that's where Blasphemer came from. I was driving through Amish country, and I saw a group of Amish kids. Well, they were, I don't know, teenagers or whatever, standing in a parking lot, and I was like, one in 10 people are gay, lesbian, or whatever. And I was like, certainly there must be an Amish kid who's gay, and like how would that person be? But he's kind of like He-Man a little bit. So he's like a kid, and we don't do it a whole lot in the comics, but he raises his bit of reclaimed wood up in the air, and he turns into Blasphemer.
I love it. Yeah.
He was meant to be a throwaway character, but Cristiano and I like him so much that he's become one of our favorites.
Oh, he's awesome. I mean, like the pink shirt with the suspenders is just amazing.
Yeah. Well, and he has a horse and buggy, of course. And when he turns into Blasphemer, the horse and buggy turns into a unicorn.
Oh my God.
It's the little details, like the fact that it's reclaimed wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, from a church.
It has to be.
Like
from a church.
It would be funny if it was just a piece of wood, but you put reclaimed wood, for some reason it takes it to another level.
Yeah, the devil's in the details.
So. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, these pages you have here are awesome, and I mean, we should just talk about the rewards you have, because, like you said, this is issue 5. So, and we'll talk about stretch goals in a minute. But as far as rewards go, you have a way for people to like catch up here, and on all the older issues, right? So you have the digital copy, you have the A, B, and C covers we talked about, and then you can get the digital set, right, 1 through 5.
Yep. Yeah, it's like $17 or $15.
Yeah, $15 for all 5 comics digitally, which is a great deal for 5 comics. But then you have the 1 through 5 cover physical set for $25.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
I was just talking with my buddy Ed from Finish Line Comics yesterday about how I get my prices like that, because a lot of creators apparently can't get them that low.
No, we talk about this a lot with interviews. So yeah, if you want to talk about that a little bit, but
I don't know what I'm doing differently. I just
maybe we just talk to a lot of greedy creators. I don't know, but I mean, the things that don't need to be said out loud, right? When we have these interviews, we talk to people, and I can say that I feel like when Chris more than me will, call out and be like, hey, why is your single issue, $20?
Yeah.
and they either have a good excuse or not so good excuse, but like for 5 issues for $25, with something of this quality, I mean, that's a great deal, right?
Well, and I always tell people, because I've been doing, like I said, I've been doing this since 2015. I do cons all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I explain to indie creators, especially newer ones, like, whether you like it or not, you are in competition with Marvel and DC. Mm-hmm. So not only does your quality need to be just as good, but your price point needs to be pretty close.
Right.
And to me, and I explain this to people too, like, I'm not here to make $1 million off one book. I'm trying to make a career of this thing. So what I want is people to first pick up my books and give it a chance. Mm-hmm. So having that price point, I hope, does that. So, that's the goal of any artist, I think, right? You're not making art, necessarily to make $1 billion, which would be nice.
Yeah.
You're making art to share it with the world. And that's what's most important to me.
Yeah. And I think I don't know if I've fully expressed it recently, but it's funny that doing that now, like having books at $14 to $20 an issue, has turned me into a Kickstarter trade waiter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Because I see the trades come out, it's like 25 to 30. I'm just like, okay, so like you're just not getting my support until then.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And, and I'm going to do a trade. So like Ginger Avenger 1, 2, and 3 are out of print. I think we have 15 copies left. And once that's gone, like no more single issues, I'm going to turn it into a trade which will be $15. And I'm even
Right.
going to add more pages to it. Like I'm going to add some behind the scenes stuff and all that kind of, point out some Easter eggs. So, I have plans for all that too. But to me, I mean, these are fun comics. I think most people would enjoy them. I think most people would be able to get something out of them because, like I said, there's romance and drama and fighting, but it's funny too, and there's some satire. I mean, it's got a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So you have the full Turkey Sharks set here. Are the other series available as well?
Yeah, they're on there in the add-on section.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because I see you have the, like Chris said, the full Turkey Shark set for $50. So that's 5, 8, 12 comics right there for $50.
Yep, I like to do deals
Or
and stuff.
11.
So
Yep.
and like variant covers when I have bigger name artists come in and do covers for me. When I do the Kickstarters, they are $7 a piece. After the Kickstarter, they jump up to 10. So I do deals on Kickstarters too.
Wow. Yeah, this is there's a lot of cool deals here, folks, or for if you're collecting a lot of comics for a great price, and they sound like a lot of fun. And then you have quite a few stretch goals here. So your original goal of $500, you're almost about halfway there. We have about a month to go, everybody, but let's talk about these stretch goals because there's some cool stuff you have there. $1,000, every book is signed, right? So that's pretty easy for you to do.
Yep, and I give people the option too. Like when I send the little thingy where you fill out your address or whatever.
Yep.
I ask people like, do you want your book signed? Sometimes people say no, so I'm totally fine not signing it. That'll save me 20 seconds.
Yeah, right.
Oh, please don't make me do less work.
Yeah, come on. Then we have the script. So is that going to be included as like an insert into the book, or?
It's a digital script.
Okay.
And I think that's a cool thing to offer. I don't know if anybody else does that. I'm sure people do, but I think it's neat because then people can read the book and then also look at the script because the book is going to be different. I mean, because I change dialogue. Like, how South Park, they do an episode a week, right?
Right.
So they can have it as new as possible. And that's what I do with my dialogue. Like if something happens, Haktua, for instance.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a reference in this book to that because I updated it as we went,
That's funny.
So I try to make it as up to date as I can with some of the jokes and stuff.
That's cool. You have for $1,200 if you hit that. You get the C of A for your signature on the comic.
Yep. Yeah, I started doing that with issue number 4, and eventually I may have COAs for all my books and stuff. But it's something I wanted to try. I think it's neat. I think people seem to like it because then you can prove I signed it. Because there's plenty of people that are be like, he didn't sign that.
Yeah, right. Come on. How do we know it's him?
Yep.
And then you have, for the last couple there, you have some Turkey Sharks magnets, which sound pretty cool.
Yeah, they're, hey, bud. Hey, go grab one of the Turkey Shark magnets off the fridge.
Nice.
So they're made to look like, I can't remember which issue it is. I think it's Turkey Sharks 2. Pedoman and Blasphemer are on a stakeout and they're eating ice cream. And if you remember the old ice creams, like the Ninja Turtle ones that they sold.
Hi.
Hey.
So this is Zebo. It is made to look
awesome.
like those ice creams.
Yeah, with the gumball eyes. Yeah.
Yep.
That's amazing.
So it's made to look like the image we got on the outside of the truck.
Yeah.
Because when you get the actual ice cream, it's just this morphed, disgusting thing.
Its eyes are melting.
Yep.
It's like the Toxic Avenger version of SpongeBob.
Yeah, right. Yep, exactly. Yeah, they never look like. Yeah, you get the Spider-Man one, you're like, that's not Spider-Man. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, there's a gag throughout the books that like Pedoman has all these merchandise about him, and that was one. He was eating a Pedoman ice cream. There's like there's Pedoman cereal. It's called Ped-O's.
Oh my god.
I don't remember, but that's just an ongoing gag throughout all the books.
I love that. That's a really good idea, and I think magnets are something cool.
Stickers are cool, but you got to stick stickers to things, and then when you want to take them off, you got all that. Off. So I think magnets are the way to go.
Yeah, but I think so too. It's a lot easier to just stick it on something. If you don't want it there anymore, then you're good to go.
Yep.
You also, Mike, you skipped over the Tales of Shock and Terror PDF.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. What is the?
I'm curious about this.
What is that?
Yeah. So I'm a publishing company. I publish for other people. We've done two books so far that I have not written, and Tales of Shock and Terror is one of them. We're working on issue 2 of that as well. I talked to the guy last night. It's almost done. But it's like an EC style comic book, in the vein of like Tales from the Crypt.
Okay.
So it's 3 short horror stories inside of a comic. And we do really well with sales on that one too. So you can get a free PDF of that if we hit $1,300 or something, whatever it was.
Mhm.
I forget what
That's
the
awesome.
number.
Yeah, 1,500 for a issue of Tales of Shock and Terror PDF. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a cool book.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What a perfect time with EC coming back.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the popularity of it for sure. I think the horror anthologies.
The main guy that wrote that book, he runs a Tales from the Crypt podcast,
cool.
which they already did all the Tales from the Crypt. Now they're doing Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah, nice.
So I was on that podcast last night. It's called Tales from the Podcast. If you guys want to check it out.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll check it out.
Great people run it. They work for me, so I'm a little biased, I guess. But
yeah, that's awesome. I'm super excited for the project. And before we wrap up today, Josh, is there anything you want to talk about the project, or say to the listeners, viewers out there about it? Or
I mean,
I do.
What do you want to say?
I created a character. I want him to talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You can create a character for yourself. That's awesome.
Yeah, he has a character first appearing in Ginger Avenger 3, and I believe he's in Turkey Sharks 4, and maybe a couple of the other ones. I can't remember, but just one day when he was like, I don't know, 4 or something, he was like, I'm Tornado Kid. And I was like, where'd you get that? And he said, I don't know. So I Googled it, and there was no Tornado Kid. So I got with him, had him design the character, gave it to Cristiano. So now that character is in the books.
That's really cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
I have an entire different story. That's not how it went.
Oh, okay.
I was sitting right there watching TV.
No, we didn't even live in this house at the time.
That's the comic book origin story. Is what he's getting into. That's awesome. That's really cool that you can share that.
Yep. I think issue 4 has a Tornado Kid cover, I believe. I think that's
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Did he have to sign a licensing agreement so that you get all the royalties from it?
Yep.
No.
Yep. That character.
That's awesome. That's amazing. No, what a great story. I'm super excited for it. I gotta back the digital issues because I'm so surprised I haven't read it with all the punchlines and jokes we talked about. This sounds like right up my alley.
Oh, I appreciate it. It's fun, man. Like I said, I try to write this series so that everybody can find something to enjoy about it.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it. Josh, I'm really excited for it. And everybody out there, you still have a month to go, pretty much. So go check it out and back it. And if our listeners and our viewers want to follow you and the stuff you're doing, where do you want to throw them over to, Josh?
TikTok's a great place. I'm trying to do more with that. And on TikTok, I don't just talk about like Cutthroat Comics. Obviously, I do. But I'm a big toy collector and comic collector, and I share the stuff I pick up and all that. I talk about dating and relationships. I talk about all kinds of stuff. So it's not just the books I'm working on and all that. We talk about more than that. But that's a good one. Instagram, Facebook is the main one, I guess, as well.
Okay, cool.
All at Cutthroat Comics.
Yeah. It's easy to find. You just look for the logo. People are smart.
Great.
And for all you out there watching and or listening, you can also look in the show notes for links to the Kickstarter page, to the Cutthroat Comics website, and even Cutthroat Comics TikTok account. So make sure to click on those and check out all the work that Josh is doing out there. So Josh, thank you so much for stopping by and taking a second to chat with us. It was a blast, and we look forward to reading more about these crazy characters you told us about. And best of luck with the campaign, man.
Thanks, guys. I mean, it's super appreciated. It's it's hard to get your name out there and stuff when you're a little guy. So definitely appreciate having the chance to talk to people.
Thanks.